Okay, think about this. What if a simple daily ritual, something you do every day, held the key to cellular rejuvenation, helping you literally turn back the clock from the inside out? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the fascinating science of green tea and matcha. We're exploring their surprising potential for, longevity and health span.
Yeah, and our mission here is really to unpack the evidence from the source material you've got, looking at everything from the tiny cellular mechanisms right up to the big human studies,
Right.
and hopefully offer you some practical insights, but also, crucially, cover the safety side of things, too.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. When we talk about living longer, the real focus, I think, for us today isn't just adding years, right? It's this concept of health span, the quality of those years, living free from chronic disease. It's really about living better for longer.
Exactly. The idea is to sort of compress morbidity. You want more of your life spent in good health and less time dealing with illness.
Makes sense.
And as we age, our cells naturally started to decline a bit in function. So understanding things that can help manage those processes, well, that's incredibly promising.
And speaking of unique things, that brings us to matcha. Now, green tea and matcha, they come from the same plant, Camellia sinensis.
Yep.
But matcha has this unique edge, doesn't it? It's shade grown for about 3 weeks. How does that change things?
That shade growing. Yeah, it really boosts the L-theanine content.
Yeah.
That's partly what gives matcha its distinctive umami flavor.
Okay.
And it works with the caffeine to create that feeling of calm alertness people talk about. But crucially with matcha, you drink the whole leaf, stone ground.
Right, not just steeping it.
Exactly. So you get way higher concentrations of the key compounds like EGCG, chlorophyll, even dietary fiber compared to regular steeped green tea.
So what's happening at the cellular level then? There's this core process, autophagy.
Autophagy, yeah. Literally self-eating. It sounds a bit dramatic, but it's your body's amazing internal recycling system.
Yeah,
breaking down old damaged cell parts. It's like hitting a cellular reset button, clearing out the junk to keep things running smoothly.
And this process naturally slows down as we age.
That's a key point, yes.
Yeah.
Aging involves a decline in this cleanup process. Now, green tea's main catechin, EGCG, this epigallocatechin gallet, a potent antioxidant,
Right.
EGCG, actually activates autophagy.
Yep.
Often does this by influencing cellular energy sensors like AMPK.
AMPK.
Yeah, think of it as a master energy regulator.
Yep.
And it also influences sirtuins, these proteins often called longevity proteins.
Okay, so it's actively telling cells to clean house and repair.
Kind of, yeah. It encourages cells to optimize their maintenance, like an internal spring clean.
So how does this cellular spring cleaning translate into real-world health benefits for us?
Well, the impact seems pretty wide-ranging. Looking at cardiovascular health, for instance, regular green tea drinking is linked to maybe a 22 to 33% lower risk of death from cardiovascular disease.
Wow, that's significant.
It is. And maybe a 46 to 65% reduction in hypertension risk. Plus, it helps improve cholesterol profiles, lowering the LDL, the bad stuff, and increasing the HDL, the good stuff.
So it's really tackling some major factors that affect health span, not just lifespan.
Absolutely. And then there's metabolic health. Studies suggest a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes and improvements in blood sugar control. EGCG itself has even shown effects sometimes compared to certain diabetes meds.
Interesting. What about the brain?
Cognition, too.
Yep.
Green tea is associated with better cognitive function, potentially a lower risk of dementia. And specifically with matcha, one study showed daily intake just 2 grams improved social sharpness and sleep quality in older adults who had some mild cognitive decline.
And the big picture, overall longevity.
There was a big umbrella review suggesting that adding about 3 cups of tea a day could potentially lower the risk of premature death from all causes by about 24%.
24%.
Yeah, potentially adding maybe 2 years to life expectancy. And, this fits with what we see in places like the Blue Zones, Okinawa, for example, where green tea is a staple.
Okay, the benefits sound compelling, but we need the full picture, right? What about the caveats? Safety.
Definitely. Crucial considerations. First, on cancer prevention. The human studies with green tea are, well, honestly, they're mixed, often inconclusive, so we can't make strong claims there.
Good to clarify. And what about safety, like toxicity concerns?
Right. This is super important. There's a big difference between drinking brewed tea or matcha, which are generally very safe for most people,
Yeah. Okay.
and taking high-dose green tea extracts, especially supplements with over 800 milligrams of EGCG per day. Those have been linked to a significant risk of liver toxicity.
Ah, so the concentrated supplements are the main concern.
Yes. The supplement market isn't always well regulated, so purity and potency can be issues. Always distinguish between the whole tea and these concentrated extracts.
Got it. Any other interactions to know about?
Yeah, green tea and matcha can interact with certain medications. Things like blood thinners, warfarin is a key one, some statins, and certain blood pressure drugs. Best to check with your doctor if you're on medication.
Okay. And practically speaking, how should we prepare it for the best results?
Good question. To maximize the benefits and the flavor, actually avoid boiling water. It can make it bitter and might degrade some compounds.
So cooler water.
Yep. For green tea, aim for around 70-80 degrees Celsius. That's 175-185 Fahrenheit. Steep for 2-3 minutes. For matcha, even a bit cooler sometimes, maybe 60-80 Celsius or 140-175 Fahrenheit.
And how much should people aim for?
Generally aiming for maybe 2-3 cups of green tea or about 2-3 grams of matcha powder daily. Seems reasonable based on the studies.
Okay, so to sort of wrap this up, green tea and matcha, especially when they're part of an overall healthy, maybe plant-forward lifestyle, they seem to offer some pretty compelling potential, right? For a longer, more vibrant health span.
Absolutely. They seem to work by activating these really fundamental cellular pathways we've talked about.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it? This blend of ancient wisdom, tea drinking, and modern science digging into why it might work.
It really is.
So maybe consider the power of these small, consistent daily habits, like a simple cup of green tea or matcha. Could that be a way to help unlock your own cellular reset button and boost your well-being? It makes you think, what small daily habit could you embrace to support your health span?